Power! Welcome back to part 2 of the video of building a watermill house in the woods. So today I'm going to build a water wheel that is going to be attached to the cabin, transforming it into a watermill house. So for this, I'm going to use the design of the bicycle wheel to help construct our water wheel. Looking at our bicycle wheel, we can see it consists of 3 main parts: the hub, the spokes, and the rim. We are going to recreate all of this using logs. Let's start off with the hub first, using this tree up ahead. For the hub, I'm going to cut out a small section of this huge tree. Even though this tree is already dead, it's a shame seeing the rest of it go to waste. I'll try to come back for it and use the rest of the material for another project. After cutting the log as square as possible, I drilled the center out to fit the shaft through. You might say I went a bit too deep. With the hub done, I collected a bunch of smaller trees to start making spokes. So I still got a few logs left over when I built the cabin, so I can probably use that for the buckets of the water wheel. I measured out the width of the buckets to be about the same as the hub, and cut it at 2 sections to chisel the center out. So with all our pieces gathered, I think we can start getting this thing together. I started off by nailing the spokes to the hub in a star-like pattern, and flipped it over to do the same on the other side. Then I went ahead to hammer the buckets into place. With the buckets done, I started to work on the frame. At first, I felt like the square-like frame would be good enough, but I continued to add on more logs to the outer frame, and knowing what the end result of this would look like, I'm honestly glad I did. So next up, we have to build a frame next to the cabin that is going to hold the water wheel in place. First, I had to remove all the junk underneath the cabin, then started to lay out the base. at that. So with the frame now finished, we can finally get the water wheel on.
I got the wheel closer to the cabin and hammered in a few nails that is going to hold the trolley wheels, which is going to serve as bearings for the water wheel. After that, I got the wheel into position, added all the little nuts and bolts, and firmly tightened them to the wheel. And got the wheel onto the frame where it all went wrong. You can actually tell by the look of disappointment on my face.
So I finally got the water wheel on, but sadly, the threaded rod is just too thin and it's just totally bent.
And even more bad news, as I went to turn it, the wheel kept bumping into the frame and the top of the roof. Can't even fake it for the video. To solve this, I added another log to the frame, added a bunch of support to it, and trimmed away the section the wheel kept bumping into. To support the shaft a little bit better, I cut away a quarter of the trolley wheel, giving it a flat surface, and built a little platform for it to sit on. I think this is going to support the wheel much better. For the roof, I had to cause a little bit of damage, destruction of public property, which seemed to free the wheel up, and when it was all said and done, the wheel was turning. However, this doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet.
It's still a little bit unbalanced, so we may need to fix that. So I'm just gonna try and add a log to the top.
And that seemed to do the trick. I then hammered the log to the underside of the bucket.
So next we have to channel water into the buckets to help drive the wheel around. So next, I'm going to connect that threaded rod over there to the bicycle wheels. That is going to connect to our little motor, which is going to generate us some electricity. But first, I have to build a frame.
First, I had to remove this annoying nail, which will allow me to cut this piece of wood a bit shorter, so that I can get this wheel on. Next, I got started with the frame, added another wheel, and clamped down our motor into place. Finishing touches being these rubber bands that is going to go over the wheels, which is going to drive the motor.
So let me show you how much power we can expect.
The wheel gave me a reading between 3 and 4 volts, which is much better than my previous attempts to generate electricity. I let it charge my batteries, which in turn powers the lights around the cabin.
So that's gonna do it for this video. If any of you are interested in any more bonus clips, early access to the latest videos, I will leave it on my Patreon and I'll see you in the next one. How cool would it be if we can build a little watermill house right up there somewhere? Well, get ready to find out.